Each generation, someone must stand against the vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the chosen one. She is the slayer.
Our scene opens as our slayer opens her eyes, awakened by the sound of the alarm clock signaling to get ready for class. Jen, please describe the slayer to us and tell us what their college dorm room looks like.
Oh God, okay. Logan, who uses she, they pronouns, is a mess. Just a downright mess. Logan's half of the room is very apparent because there's just stuff everywhere. And when I say stuff, I'm like stuff that doesn't even belong in a dorm, like random crossbow, like a baseball bat, because Logan does not think that people pay attention to them. So it's not so much necessarily that they're trying to be a horrible roommate, but more so the fact that they're like, my roommate doesn't notice anything I do, this will be fine. And there's sheets strewn all over the bed, in sync sheets, because why not? The bed's not made or anything, and the flat sheet is like on the floor, because who needs those? And it's just like a throw crochet blanket from their grandmother that probably isn't very warm, but they're too lazy to buy another blanket. And there's just, it's a very like line, but also there's a lot of just magazines and newspapers strewn about the floor on their side of the room. And it's weird stuff like Area 51 or whatever it is, and like, you know, unsolved mystery notes and things like that you wouldn't normally find in a college dorm for somebody that's not completely obsessed with weird supernatural paranormal things. That's what we got. Oh, and a JanSport backpack, obviously.
So as the camera is like panning around this whole mess, then we see the hand like slam on the alarm clock. And as Logan kind of sits up and gets out of bed, what does Logan look like?
Logan looks like they're still wearing the clothes they wore yesterday, because they probably are. They're not a morning person at all, and definitely get dressed the night before so that they can just roll out of bed and go to class the next day without looking like they're doing the walk of shame. And their hair is like really messy and probably a mix between purple and green because they haven't dyed it in a while. Definitely home bleached, probably falling out a little bit of breakage going on. And so they're wearing like a flannel and just like some random anime t-shirt that they bought at Pacific Sun or something. And like just very not awake, very puffy faced, very kind of, all right, we have to do this now. And forces themselves to get out of bed because it's so freaking comfy in their bed right now.
It's probably one of those, like, you set your alarm to the last possible minute that you have. Alarm goes off and then you're like up grabbing your bag, getting just ready to walk out the door, still half asleep, to go to class. And as that dorm door opens, we now cut to another dorm room. Emily, tell us who we see as she is coming out of her dorm room, kind of what we see over her shoulder looking into the dorm room and what she looks like.
So Penelope is wearing like a really oversized sweater that's like half tucked in on one side and like some baggy jeans and a pair of Converse. She's got like one of those side messenger canvas bags with way too many patches and buttons on it. In her dorm, you can see like little, floral wreaths hang up on places and candles here and there that aren't burnt. They're all just perfect, pristine, new condition, but there's like crystals and rocks and all these cool. It looks very boho chic. Like her bedspread is like flowers with big leaves and things like that, very greens and pinks and purples. But she's wide awake, ready for the day to start. She's had a cup of tea. She's had a little bit of breakfast. Even though she's not supposed to have food or a hot plate in her room, she's elected to ignore that rule because it's stupid. And I would imagine that her roommate is kind of very plain Jane and just kind of rolls their eyes at Penelope every time she leaves because, she spends 10 minutes trying to make sure that one corner of the sweater's tucked in just right, because if it's not, then it doesn't look the right kind of frumpy. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. And we now cut to a classroom. Students are filling in the seats, and we see our Slayer, Logan, and we see Penelope both in this class. The professor appears to be checking his notes and like sipping at a steaming hot cup of coffee as everyone's filing in, and there's a little bit of chatter in the classroom, but it dies down as class actually begins. There's a clunk of his mug as he sets it down on the desk and turns to the class. You all know him as Mr. Callahan. How many of you have passed a note in class before? And he just kind of like holds up a hand for like a show of hands sort of thing. A couple people are like, yeah. And he nods and he's just kind of looking. How many of you have had that note intercepted? And there's like this no longer super eager response. Everyone's just kind of like looking around at each other like, I'm not going to admit my embarrassments to you. And he kind of nods. What did it say? Some sort of juicy secret? Something that maybe got you in trouble? Whatever it said. I bet you wish you could have like scrambled it somehow, right? Written it in code like you did probably when you were kids. Then he turns to the large chalkboard and he writes World War II across the top. The highest part that he can reach. You hear the chalk kind of like clinking and scraping against the chalkboard itself. Who was Hedy Lamarr and why is she so important? Boring stuff, right? And he's like writing this down as he's saying it. Secret communication system. All that's the boring stuff, right? And he just kind of points to it, and then he turns back to the class and he says, Lamarr and her co-inventor figured out how to use the workings of a piano to create a frequency hopping system. He starts writing down more of the exciting stuff, more of, frequency swapping and kind of like writing down how that was so important at that time period.
I am trying very hard not to fall asleep.
I'm taking notes, but they're pretty haphazard. It's like Hedy Lamarr, piano, frequencies. And then there's a bunch of flowers in between all the words. Like, it's useless for the most part, but it looks like I'm working.
Piano, frequencies.
But the frequencies, like the S is the little 3-line thing with, the interconnecting. Yeah, like I spent a long time on the S being perfect.
There are moments where your head slips off your hand and then your head kind of jumps back up. There's never a moment where it visibly, like, people can tell you're falling asleep there, but you've definitely missed chunks of this class. That one of those, how when you're falling asleep and the voice sounds so loud but so distant at the same time? That's the majority of this lecture for you. You are hearing this in a weird tunnel of tiredness, and eventually the bell rings, and that is enough to like wake you up, enough to stand up and remove yourself from class. And as the students are getting up and leaving the lecture, the camera kind of pulls away and out of the school itself, blurring into a time lapse. As we're moving over to what looks like an abandoned warehouse. Night has fallen now, and we see two figures crouched near the warehouse, hidden and watching the seemingly abandoned entrance. They are currently hunting a demon they've nicknamed the Apocalypse Demon, always trying to bring about the end of days. They aren't necessarily easy to kill, but nothing end of the world worthy in their experience. First, Candace, please describe your character to us and tell us how she's handling the waiting part of the mission.
Naomi Price is 18, big round cheeks, still hasn't lost a lot of that like kid look about them. They're in like a random Disney shirt that's fairly loud for the stakeout that they're supposed to be on. They've got like a brand new like jean jacket with like leather like patches and stuff all over it, that doesn't look, it looks like somebody was trying to make a cool jacket but then like stopped halfway through. They have kind of kinky curly hair that's held back in like a just like straight down their back, with a big kind of white headband on. They have really thick Coke bottle glasses, and they have like a fake piercing in their nose and like fake like dangly earrings in their ears, and they're wearing these like, I don't know, they're like stiff looking Wrangler jeans that are just not it. They're like a little too short, and they have like a kick flare, not like a nice one. It's like somebody who's like really trying to like update their look and is having a hard time, and they are hiding behind this cover, kind of trying to anticipate when they should strike, and they keep kind of looking back and forth to the person next to them every couple of seconds, and then like doing false starts, like they're ready to like go out, and then they're like, no, that's not it, she seems really cool, now, nope, not now, not making a move. Okay, we could have gone by now. Okay. And like they're noticeably annoyed that they can't just get her done, but at the same time it's clear that they're not going to they're going to try their hardest not to make a move before this person next to them. They are Black. They have kind of like a medium skin tone, like medium to fair skin for a Black person, Black features, and they use she they pronouns.
And it's one of these glances as you're looking at the warehouse, looking back at the person next to you, looking at the warehouse, looking back at the person next to you, and the camera finally like shifts over. Farah, describe your character and tell us what she's focusing on.
So Morgana Davonair is 5'6" depends on if she's wearing her boots or not. Heavy leather jacket, built kind of woman, strong, very clearly under her tight jeans so that she can move in it. Thick black eyeliner that probably hasn't been updated in a day or two. Glasses also, but she makes them look real cool. Slicked back hair, again, probably hasn't been updated in a day or two, and is just sort of watching for something. She has a cigarette sometimes behind her ear, sometimes in her fingers. Doesn't tend to smoke on the job because you can see the light. But at the moment, she's just fidgeting a little bit, not out of nerves, just maybe out of boredom. And she's watching for movement because she knows there's something coming, but doesn't want to play the hand too far. She'll maybe look back at her car once in a while, make sure she's still there. It's her pride and joy, but focused. Trying not to notice the keener next to her, trying to get on the road, if you will, but that's what the youngins are, keen. That'll get you killed.
We could have like gone out there already. Like, I'm just saying, like, we got an opening. I think like we could just spring over it, just get it.
Do you want to get yourself killed? Is that the goal? I mean, I rescued you the one time. I don't want to have to do it again.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're gonna be bad. Like, you were such a badass. You like jumped in. You were like, oh, yeah, and it was awesome. And like, I'm just, like, I can do it. Like, I can just like, I've been practicing flying kicks off my bed when I go home. So like, you just like give me a chance, and like, I'll launch myself over. It'll be awesome.
Slow your roll, kid. Listen, if you're gonna survive in this business, you're gonna have to learn to wait. Listen, pick up a hobby. Whittle something. You got enough knives. I got you enough knives, right? We need plenty of those. I mean, could always pick up a different hobby, but probably not great.
I hold up like just this very sad stick that has been like whittled way too much. It's like almost a pencil, like one of those jumbo pencils that you like, the oversized pencils. But it's a stake. And it looks real sad. It's got like splinters coming out of the sides and stuff. I've been practicing. I've got ready. Like, I have like you told me to follow through. I've learned how to follow through. You do like your whole, like, you don't just like, it's not with the wrists. It's like the follow through. So you don't look impressed.
Listen.
Okay.
You whittled it so much that, yeah, you might fit into back here, but you ain't gonna be sticking anybody in the chest cavity with that.
Yeah, no, you're right. It looks.
Of course, I'm right.
It looks a little sad. I'll keep trying.
Listen,
I'll get it.
We'll get you another tree or something. Stick in the back of the Challenger, and you can work on pieces, huh?
Yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah. Hey, the door. I think I see the door. The door is opening. This is our moment. Like, I'm just like,
it's
I go over top.
It's not going to be a moment if you give away our position, huh?
Yeah. Just saying, it's open.
Yeah, and as you're kind of looking over, you do see the warehouse door opening, and you see a large truck pulling off of the road and coming up towards the warehouse itself. It's pulling in like it's just making a delivery, basically. It pulls in, the headlights shut off almost immediately, like it doesn't want to draw too much attention. And you hear the truck being parked, you hear the brakes release, and the engine shuts off. You see 3 figures come out of the warehouse, and the driver gets out. They all head towards the back of the truck. At this point, are you doing anything in particular?
The layout of the area near us. Are we close as we can get? Can we hear anything? Can we see the back of the truck?
From your position, you can't hear anything. And you have a little bit of like a height advantage on them at the moment. This was as close as you could get with good cover, but you're welcome to try to get closer.
All right, kid. You ready to try to get closer?
This is the moment. Yeah. Like, I'm okay.
Now, we don't want them to see us, but we want to hear what they're saying. You understand?
Yeah, it's a top secret mission. Go in, listen, no talkie. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Let's go.
All right. So as you are moving forward, trying to be quiet, let's see what the equivalent of a stealth roll is here.
I'm gonna do Dex and acrobatics.
Okay.
So that is a natural 10. And
You did better than me, kid.
That's
I got
a 15.
It's a 15. That's very good.
I'm too busy worried about them.
I land at like in the area that we're supposed to be in. Like I get there, and I'm like, just.
I think there's probably like a dumpster or something super close by that you can kind of duck over by, just to be close enough to hear as they are pulling out a very large crate from the back of this truck. Very large and seemingly very heavy. You do notice, especially being this close, there are no signs of like the demons that you're looking for. Not yet, at least. as they're bringing this giant crate closer to the warehouse and bringing it in, the conversation that you hear one of them say, God, why is this so damn heavy? And the driver is like, yeah, what the hell do you got in here? And you hear another person more, not quite laugh, but kind of chuckle a little bit and just don't answer. And you see them bring this crate into the warehouse, and you see the driver beginning to walk back out as the warehouse doors are closing.
Did we see any other doors on the warehouse, or is it just the big one?
There's the one big door, and then there's like a side door that just seems to be like a regular door.
Mm-hmm. If we've been here a while, would I have been able to like go check out the door or anything like unseen, or was it like a little bit too late?
I think that's a perfect place to spend some drama points. I will say, what would you like to discover from investigating the door?
So ideally, what I would have done is either unlocked it and like stuffed something in the lock so it couldn't relock, or like break the lock, basically make it so that when whatever went in the big door, we could go in the back door and people wouldn't realize that we were going in the door.
Fantastic. So yeah, it's probably exactly that. You have something stuffed in the door latch itself so that it's shut, but you can just pull it right back open.
Great. You ready?
Always.
A gesture, and we head over to the door.
All right. You're heading over to the door, and there's a moment of sort of cover when it comes to sound as well, because the truck is beginning to pull away, so you're able to just pull that door open as you wish. And before we reveal what's in there, we're going to cut back to the Slayer. It's a regular Tuesday night. Where do we find our Slayer?
Like what time?
Dark, so I don't know, let's go 9.
On patrol, to be honest. Just walking up and down the beat. Flipping the old Mr. Pointy around.
All right, so let's go ahead and make a perception, add your notice as well.
Okay, so 9 + 6.
You are just flipping that stake in one hand as you are kind of walking along, and you hear some rustling beside you. Your attention is immediately brought over to that, and then you hear the snap of a twig behind you, and as you turn around, you see Claire standing in front of you, and there's just like this moment of like almost jump scare, but you heard her coming, so it wasn't quite as bad, and she just greets you with, "We have a problem."
I imagine so, since this is how you're greeting me. A simple hello doesn't work anymore.
Sorry, hello.
Hi.
And Claire, for the audience, has shoulder-length dark hair, sharp eyebrows, hazel eyes, a scar across her nose, as if it's been broken badly before. There are 2 puncture scars on her neck from a long time ago. And while she's only a few years older than Logan, she wears more like battle-ready attire than you would think from a watcher. But your watcher stands before you, and after saying hello, says, "There's an old abandoned warehouse being used as a nest. It's been on the list of things to take care of, but it just moved up to the top."
All right, I'm down. Bored. Haven't seen, a baddie in a little bit.
Cool. She starts kind of like getting an address ready for you. A delivery that we've been tracking apparently stopped there. I don't like it. I think we need to do some recon. No going in. And she like pointedly looks at you like this is a conversation you've had quite a few times. I just want to know what it was delivering. We don't know enough to charge in head first, okay?
Don't charge in head first. Okay.
She like squints at you for a moment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just report back to me when you know something, all right? And be careful.
I'm always. Are they always? I mean, come on. It was just that one, maybe 3 times I kind of died almost. Maybe it's fine.
And
No,
as she's
no,
walking away, she's like, "No going in."
no going in. Got it. Yep. Technically, she said no going in head first.
And then we cut back over to the hunters. Go ahead and both of you make a perception notice roll for me.
6.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Yeah, so Naomi's just really excited to be here. To be like, you made it. You got inside, and this is the coolest thing you've ever done. And it's really hard for Morgana to hear anything. There's this constant hum around, almost. There's just a lot of noises. There's a lot of echo in this warehouse. It's hard to make out certain voices. Everything's blending together. But you do hear the sound of this crate, like, being popped open, basically. And as you are, we'll say this is one of those doors that kind of has like a shelf on the inside, making it a little bit of a hallway before you can peek around to the inside of this warehouse. And there are certain spots of the shelves where the boxes separate enough to where you can kind of peek through. You see this place is set up for some sort of ritual. It's very clear to you upon just first glance at what you're seeing. There is a ritual being prepared here. Many people are dressed in robes, and you see the apocalypse demons that you have been tracking. But they seem to be standing around as guards, like hired guards for something. Which is weird for them. You haven't seen an apocalypse demon working with other beings before. But that is what you make out currently.
What now?
I pull out my big ass knife, let's say, and say, "Now we take care of some demons, darling. You ready?
Yeah.
Don't fucking die on me this time." Yeah?
No. I wouldn't die on you. No. And I
Then
like
fucking
brandish like my knife, and it's kind of like glinting in the light. And I'm like, we're badass. We don't.
Fuck yeah,
We're not gonna
we are.
die. No.
Let's go, kid. Show me what you can do.
And
We're
like,
gonna go fuck up some demons.
like I get ahead of myself. Like I start like going quick, and then I realize that like I am standing like 10 feet in front of Morgana without her there, and I'm like, ugh, and I just like kind of mosey back.
How about you lead?
Sorry. I thought we were gonna like hit it hard, but I'm ready.
Remember what I taught you? You remember? We take out the stragglers first. And then we go in for the rest of the guys, yeah?
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay.
So I will lead the charge of if there's any like near the shadows, quick as I can. And then once the chaos starts, the big guns come out.
All right,
so on.
I will say both of you make whatever attack roll you would like. As you have the surprise factor right now.
Oh yeah. 8, 16, 24. No. Yeah, 8, 16, 25. From my big
Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling success.
Yeah, that's like a 7. It's not.
Okay, perfect. In that case, I want to know this mind-boggling success, how this takedown looks, and then I want to know how Naomi alerts the entire warehouse of your presence.
So I creep in. There's a guy standing right there, right near the shadows, back to the fucking door like a chump. Eh? Take my big ass knife, almost cut his fucking head off. And then this one next to me.
I came in, I did, I had my knife out and I was ready, and well, I kind of overshot a little bit. My glasses kind of slid down my face, and I fell into some trash cans. It's not my best night. The stealth was really good. I got kind of under myself. The stealth was really good, but I definitely sliced his leg a little bit. So, I started him for you, boss. I got him warmed up, and then you come in, with the big guns.
With the big ass fucking knife, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's this moment of you come over with this takedown that's like nearly decapitating him from behind, just slitting his throat. And then you look over and you see stumbling and falling over and then falling into trash cans. You hear things clattering all over the place, and the one that she was trying to attack turns, and you just throw your knife, and it just lodges directly into the face of this creature that stumbles back. And now we are going to cut over to Penelope. It's getting late. You're in your dorm room, and whatever you're in the middle of, you hear a scream come from the room next to yours. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna bolt up, drop everything, bolt up out the door, swing, grabbing the A-frame to wheel myself around. No hold bars. I'll kick in the door if I have to, but I'm gonna go right up and start trying to get in.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So I would like for you to make if you have anything to argue, absolutely go for it. But I would say strength.
Maybe acrobatics.
Can I do acrobatics like I was holding onto my door frame and use the momentum to just kind of roundhouse kick the door?
Hell yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of points in any of these things. I rolled a 7 plus 2, so a 9.
Okay. So we'll say, yeah, you swing around. That first kick, you think it didn't do it. And your foot hurts so bad. And you're like, whoa, oh, that was not. And then you look over and the door has been like busted open a little bit, and you're able to kind of like shove on that and rush in. You rush in, and this room is empty.
I'm holding my ankle. Shit. Hello? I'm gonna like start looking under beds. Anybody here? No? Great. I'm gonna go over to the window, like look out.
Yeah, you head over to the window and you see it's closed, it's locked, and I mean, there doesn't seem to be any sign of struggle or anything. And then you hear commotion from your room.
So this time I'm gonna walk a little more cautiously, like, cause now I'm suspicious. So I'm gonna cinematically like walk up to the door, and it's just gonna be like empty hallway, and you're just gonna see my head kind of pop out the side of the door.
Yeah. Are you peeking into your room?
I'm gonna turn around and I'm start peeking into my room, kind of pushing my door to see what's going on in there.
Sure. And as you do so, you see a person. No. As they turn their face, you can see it a little bit better. A vampire. He has taken one of your thicker books from your desk, and the moment he sees you, he begins bolting out of your dorm room window that he had climbed through previously. You know it was that pile of books.
God, I'm gonna lunge for him.
Okay. So this will be like a contested roll.
I rolled a 1 plus 3, so a grand total of 4.
Wonderful. So the moment you lunge, he is up and out of this window before you can even lunge for him. Your hand kind of goes through to reach, and he slams the window down on your arm, and then turns around and just takes off. He seems to have no interest in actually like fighting with you, but he is holding on to that book as tight as he can, and he is sprinting.
Am I on an upper floor dorm or a ground level floor?
I'd say you're ground level.
Okay. So after a spew of profanities from my arm, I'm gonna slam the window back up, and I'm hoofing it out there, and I'm gonna start running.
Just making a character choice here. How good are you at getting out of this window?
Not at all.
Great. In that case, it's like a fling over, fall down, get up, kind of like wipe off your hands from whatever dirt you landed in, and then you take off running.
Yeah, the first few steps is me pulling my shoe back on one foot, like, yeah.
Back at the warehouse.
Right.
What
How
would you
many
like to do?
people are in this room?
Getting a better view
Evil
now, and
demons.
now that attention is on you, you see 4 of these apocalypse demons, and you see there are 4 obvious vampires, and there are a couple that you, from your experience, assume are vampires, but their face is still very human looking.
So I just threw my big ass sword at a demon's face, and I don't have, or my big ass knife at a demon's face, so I don't have any more. So I reach behind me and pull out a big ass fucking sword, and I say, "Come on, boys, you ready to dance?" And I go try to chop off the head of the next one.
Fantastic. Let's make that roll.
So 2 levels of success.
So are you attacking one of the apocalypse demons or one of the vampires?
Apocalypse demons, harder to kill, easier to kill, generally. Because I'm gonna take off the hardest ones so that Naomi doesn't get eaten or destroyed or whatever.
Gotcha. Apocalypse demons probably a little meatier.
Than that.
Okay. What is that damage on that?
5 times strength plus 1, so strength is 4, so 21.
All right, so as you swing this sword around, you see this apocalypse demon like reaching up to try to block the sword itself, succeeds in blocking it from like just slicing its head off, but it slices off its like in the middle of its hands on both sides. You see these claws just sliced off. They kind of like smack down to the floor, and he's just holding just thumbs now at this point with just the lower half of the hands as he tried to block this over and just kind of looks up. You can take another action if you'd like. It's at a -2 penalty.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? That's still 1 level of success, but it's only a 10. It's adequate.
Okay,
Listen.
so once again, where were you like aiming for this time?
Oh, I just want his head off. That's
Great.
just the goal. Yes.
Yeah, so you're swinging again towards the head. This time he brings up like forearms to try to block, and you slice in. It doesn't quite like chop them off. You feel the sword get stuck in the bone for a moment and then pull it back out. Like you're fucking this guy up, but you're just not getting the neck like you want.
I will shout to Naomi, "Vampires, let's go."
And at this point, the apocalypse demon that you have severely fucked up looks at you, realizing there's not much this one in particular can really do. And instead, you see them kind of like brace, jump up, and try to spin kick you directly in the face. Just a very cinematic kick to the face. Your face kind of like, pushes over to one side. And for just a moment, we swap over to our Slayer, Logan, just casually walking up to the warehouse.
Do I hear what's happening on the inside, or do I like hear nothing? Am I like listening to my Walkman, probably not paying attention?
Once you get close enough, I'll say you would notice, but
Okay.
yeah, depending on, that's your choice.
I feel like Logan would know better. Probably like 1 ear in, 1 ear out kind of style, maybe.
Fair enough.
But God, this town is boring at night. So I guess I would have grabbed my bat. Probably not the crossbow though, because I'm thinking warehouse, maybe close quarters. I know I'm not even supposed to be going in there, so like, obviously the bat's a just in case. And so like I probably like saunter up like, all right, the pixies in my ears or something, and like kind of just look around. Claire said I can't go in head first. Never said I can't go in at all. no matter what, under any circumstances.
As you're having like this internal conflict, you hear like the sound of slicing and shouting happening on the inside, and you're like, something's definitely happening in there. And then you glance over.
Trouble.
You glance over though, and you see Penelope sprinting, probably a little bit out of breath, coming up, like looking in the direction of the warehouse, glancing over, and Penelope and Logan, you lock eyes.
Hey, Callahan's class. Nice to see you. Did you see a guy? A guy running this way?
And Logan just casually just puts the bat behind their back and is like, a guy? Where am I? Oh, a warehouse. Weird. What am I doing here? What are you doing here? Actually, what guy? What did he look like? Did he have a scrunchy face? For no reason at all, I'm asking.
Scrunchy's a little rude, but yeah, sure. Yeah, just a guy running this way. I actually like to run a lot. She starts holding her side for the shy split. She's like, but yeah, there was a guy, and I was running in the same direction. I just wanted to make sure I stayed on the trail we were following. Did you see anybody or not? God. Okay, and she starts stretching out her legs. No? Okay, great.
But maybe he went into the warehouse?
And at that point, we're going to shift back into the warehouse, where you see these 4 apocalypse demons are moving in on you. The vampires don't seem to be. The vampires seem to now be thoroughly focused on finishing whatever ritual is happening here. You see them turning. You see one coming in from like an upper window, slamming down with a book in their hand, and they rush over and they hand it, like they open it up, and you see a couple of them flipping through to see what book or what page has what they're looking for. The apocalypse demons are coming closer. One of them reaches down to grab Naomi out of the trash pile that we have fallen into, just trying to grab you and basically just shove you and throw you up against the wall on the other side. You can contest this if you would like, however you would like to roll that.
Yeah, I want to try to like dodge and kind of like flip out of his grasp.
All right, so as you go to dodge, there's a moment where you like roll and you just try to crawl away. And as you can hear like your palms like slapping on the floor for like 2 slaps, and then this demon just reaches down, grabs you by the back of your jean jacket and by your ankle, picks you up and throws you, and you just boom slam into the wall on the other side.
That was rude. You could have asked me to move. I would have moved.
I'm gonna say that's 5 points of damage. From slamming into that, falling back down. You could have asked me to move.
Yeah.
And you see the 4 of them, they just seem to be standing there like a blockade from blocking the 2 of you from the ritual that's happening behind. And Naomi, it's your turn.
I like kind of push myself up into a seated position, trying to catch my breath, and I see these vampires doing a ritual, and I'm like, there's fucking book nerd vampires? What the fuck is this? And I take this like crossbow out of my pack at my back, and I aim it at whichever one has the book in hand to try and get that one first. Like whichever one's like reciting.
Are you still like laying on the ground too, and you're just like
I've pushed myself up into like a seating, my back against the wall, legs straight out in front, like trying to just kind of get my shit together as best I can.
Perfect.
Get my legs under me.
Make that roll.
16. Okay, so that's 16 damage plus 5, so 21 points of damage. Well, actually, I mean, if it's against vampires, then that's times 5, so that's like 100 and something.
And you are shooting at one of the vampires that's holding the book, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully I can like dust him and get the book to like, are they in front of a fire?
No, they're not in front of a fire. They seem to be, now that you have a better, like, as you're looking past these apocalypse demons, you're seeing all of these vampires surrounding this crate that they have undone. And inside of the crate, you see a sarcophagus.
Oh, fuck no. All right, yeah. So hopefully he'll turn to dust and drop that book, and it'll give everybody a little bit of time to rethink what they're doing right now.
Yeah, so you fire the crossbow, you see the stake like slam right into the heart of this vampire that's holding on to it. There's a moment where the whole body like tenses, and then you do see they turn to dust, and the book itself slams down onto the floor and closes. And you see the other ones like turning to look at it. A couple of them seem to already be like scrambling to reach down for it, but some of them just look over to see you instead.
I go, yes! Marky, did you see? Did you see? I fucking, yeah!
Good
Hey!
job, kid.
Yeah!
Keep it up. I have
Fuck
like
yeah.
5 of them around me.
And you see, like, I'm like struggling to get to my feet. I like go toddler style, where I put like the flats of my palms on the ground and like lift the rest of my backside up, and then kind of stand against the wall, like. Yeah,
Fantastic. Yeah, and those of you outside, you hear, I guess it would be Penelope's discretion whether or not you have ever heard of vampire, like, dust before. But Logan, you hear that sound, unmistakable, and then you hear, oh yeah, I did it! Like echoing out, like, did you see? Like, obvious excitement. Also coming from inside the warehouse.
I'm gonna go see.
Yeah. You should go back to the dorms. I'm gonna find this guy, but you should head back. That would. It's dark and it's not safe out here. So.
You're going inside, aren't you?
No. But you should go back to the dorms.
Okay. How about this? How about we go in together?
Like together?
Like
No,
maybe
yeah,
like
that's fine. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
right?
think it can't be much going on. But yeah, sure.
Sounds like someone might be in trouble. I mean,
Yeah. Penelope, by the way.
hi, I'm Logan.
Hi. Yeah. It's I sit behind you, like 2 rows back.
Yeah. Although I can't. I'm usually sleeping or trying not to.
I've noticed.
Oh, okay. Well,
like,
good.
really
Now that we've gotten.
You know what? We could talk about this later.
You hear another
nope,
shriek
that's fine.
from inside the warehouse. Just like
Yeah,
just
do I
shrieking
hear
creatures.
this conversation going on outside?
I think you hear that there is conversation, but you don't hear the words being said. You hear like the
Okay.
tone and that there are 2 different voices, but you don't hear the words.
Can I shout outside, either get the fuck in here or run the fuck away?
Oh well, she sounds lovely.
Uh,
I'm gonna head in.
and then like Logan's like very awkwardly waiting for Penelope to go first, so that they can turn around and tell Claire that they had to go in to save somebody that was going in, and there's nothing they could do to stop it.
Yeah. So I'll head in the door and kind of look back and be like, okay. And I'm gonna bust open the door.
Perfect. Yeah, and as you're coming in, you're seeing this full scene before you. It's like you just walked into a different night entirely. You see a sarcophagus in the middle of this warehouse. You see vampires surrounding it. You see a couple of them are like picking up a book and your book, a familiar book, and trying to find a page once again. You see 2 demon hunters. You see 2 people that seem to be equipped for whatever is happening right now. And let's go ahead and just redo initiative. Everyone roll a d10 for me.
11.
13.
8.
I got 12.
I yell at Morgana. These fucking vampires, they got backup!
The enemies go first. So I'm going to make a roll to see if they find the correct page in this book. Oh yeah. That is a 19, which There's 5 levels of success, so I'm going to say slams the book back down, flips through, finds the page, and immediately just slams it down. 2 more vampires like surround this particular one, like shielding with their body, and you can hear this vampire reading out loud. And the apocalypse demons are now seeing that there are now 4 people in the room, and one of them is going to go for each of you. So let's see. Naomi's still on the floor. One of them's going to just grab onto your ankle and pull and try to just like basically wrench the crossbow out of your hands. So that will also be contested because they're not actually trying to do damage to you. They are trying to take your weapon.
Okay, so without the bonus, it's 11. With the kick bonus, trying to kick it away, that's a 16.
Ooh, that's awesome because I rolled a 15. So that is fantastic. So it succeeds in like grabbing onto your ankle, pulling, grabbing onto the crossbow, but before it can get a good grip, what do you do?
Like I was not lying when I said I've been practicing my kicks in my bedroom, and I like use my hands to kind of support my weight and bring my other leg up to kick it in its face and like back away from me.
And they immediately like let go of the crossbow and kind of like stumble over down onto one knee because they were kind of, you know, crouched down to pull you towards them anyway, fall down onto one knee. One of them moves past and moves directly toward Morgana. They just walk forward almost with like a strut, pull back one hand and just go in for a punch directly to your face. Oof. That's a...
Oh, no.
That's a 30?
Don't kill my mentor, Carrie! This can't be where the training ends.
Oh, no!
Sure,
Okay.
it's fine.
That's 17 damage.
Ow.
Yeah. Boom! Just slams directly into your face. You feel... You fall back into the shelf, and if it wasn't for your arm, like, hooking onto the shelf, you would have fallen over. And there's this moment of, like, just seeing white behind your eyes as you just take that pain right in your cheekbone. One of the other ones was a little bit further away, and they actually, like, take 2 strides, like, sprinting, jump, and they try to drop kick Penelope right as you're coming in through the door.
I'd like to think that in trying to come in the door that I actually kind of tripped over the door jamb and kind of not went airborne, but, you know, kind of did that like falling thing and caught myself on the wall, but they just happened to sweep this where it ended up being, and I didn't end up there. And so they're like, shit, and I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, so they just like slam into the wall right beside you, and I'm gonna say that is when Logan comes in through the door, looks over, sees this apocalypse demon right there by the door frame. But before you can react to that one, you see the 4th one coming over, and they reach out. They're gonna try to like grapple you. They're gonna try to hold on to you and lift you up into the air. So you can contest this if you would like.
7 plus a 5 is a 12 plus a 10 is a 22.
Okay, damn. So yeah, how does this look? Do you like let him lift you up and then do something, or do you not even let him lift you off the ground?
I think I imagine that Logan has been like outside, like waiting for a reason to get into this warehouse, and so like is already like pumped up for whatever is happening. And like as the person comes towards them, or the vamp comes towards them, I imagine Logan just kind of like goes with the momentum of the attacker and just like probably like kind of like in that episode. Sorry. In that episode.
I was wondering how long it would take to get to this moment, and it's finally
in the
here.
Self-defense class, when he goes to like go after her and she just like nonchalantly just like flips him over onto his back using his own wrist. I believe it was like that moment, just like a whoop, and like that's it.
Hell
Nothing spectacular.
I will say with that much of a success, if you want to, you can flip him out the door and close the door.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. I would
Just
like
get
to
rid
flip
of
him
one.
out
Just
the
be like,
door.
get
just
out of here.
Goodbye.
Just walk in, super chill, flip him right out the door. Probably like go to shut the door, slam it on like his arm or his leg or something. He pulls it back out, and then you slam the door shut and lock it.
I like that.
And that is their turn. So it looks like Morgana is up next.
I wipe the blood from my chin, lose my cigarette, I guess, because he punched me so fucking hard. And I say, "You almost broke my fucking nose," and I'm gonna cut his head off. 22.
Fantastic.
That was a 9, so 21, 30 total.
Nice.
damage.
Where the hell did my pin go? There it is.
So I wipe the blood off, and I go. So I swing this time bottom up diagonally. So maybe he goes to hit me again, but the half of him falls away and the other half falls away, and I lean down and I pick up the cigarette again, and then off to the next one that's attacking him.
Yeah, you slice across this one's chest. Not quite enough to really spill too much blood. It kind of moves out of the way a little quicker than you were preferring, but you got him.
You okay, kid?
Yeah, fucking dusted that shithead.
I saw. Good job. Get up.
Yeah, right.
Logan, you are up.
Logan is going to look around and just kind of like peer in corners to see if there's anybody else within their striking distance. Is there anybody else near me, or?
Yes, you are standing like directly by one of the apocalypse demons that had tried to drop kick Penelope and failed. They are like holding on to the wall and door frame right now.
Okay, I'm going to, with my bats in my other hand, just flap right across the skull.
Perfect.
For funsies. 70?
Oh. These things have 70 life points.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Accurate.
70 life points.
It's
Accurate.
facing.
The Buffy she fucking murks demons all the time. One
Yeah,
shots
no.
them.
Facts. I'm just like, is this real life right now? Like, am I doing well in something and not just dying all the time?
Yeah, so how does this kill look? Like you have slammed the door, you look over, probably like flip the bat in your hand, and how does this look?
Okay, so I slammed the door with like one arm, yeah, and like did the flippy thing because that's the thing Logan does, and just like one arm bat just like thwacked this guy, just like out of the way, just like over in the ground, and then I just look at Penelope like, "Are you cool?"
And I think there was like this splatter up the side of the wall, and then the body like falls down, and immediately like it and the other one at the same time, they don't dust, but they like melt into nothing.
Oh, that's new.
Nice job there, killer.
Slayer, but I mean, damn it, I mean not that.
Term of
It's
endearment, but
incredible.
okay.
Claire's gonna kill me. Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of weirdly turn away.
Now that I'm standing on my own 2 feet,
There are still one. There's one apocalypse demon here because we've killed 2 and one of them got locked outside. So yeah, there is just one standing here, kind of looming over you.
I don't like that. I just like aim my crossbow, like even though it's like a relatively short distance between us, like I just level it at him and I'm like, "You're leaving me no choice. I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm not scared. Okay." And I try to like give him a second and like be tough, and I imagine he does not move.
We'll say he actually like starts lunging towards you.
Yeah, no, I go for it. I'm gonna
Perfect. Yeah. This does not have the bonus because it is not a vampire. So.
Okay. That's an 18.
Okay.
That's gonna be 19 points of damage.
All right.
So I kind of do like a somersault, like to roll out of like being right underneath him. I do a somersault and try to like look around, and I kind of shout to Morgana, "Yeah, I don't think these girls are part of the crew. I think I was wrong. They're pretty badass. It's really distracting."
Did I hear them say Slayer before?
You absolutely did, yes.
Fuck yeah. No, they're with us, kid. Don't you worry. Kick some ass, Slayer. I shout to Logan.
I'm like waving. I'm like, oh, hey. My name's Naomi. It's Slayer. I've heard a lot about you.
Yeah, Logan. This is a secret, right? Like, this is Circle of Trust time, because, like, my watcher's gonna be really mad that I keep telling people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, you can't tell anyone that I'm an assistant demon slayer, so I feel like we're even.
Oh, demon. Okay.
Can we please stop the chit chat and kill the fucking vampire before they come about the apocalypse, please?
At
Copy
this point,
later.
Penelope, what is your reaction to this entire conversation?
I'm kind of just like, jabbing with it, like looking at all of them introducing themselves, and I was like, Penelope, grad student. I'm just gonna kind of look at them, like, yeah. I think Penelope, sees all of them talking, and she looks at me and goes, 1 second. And she turns around, and there's like a whole like shift in her demeanor. Like, she stands up straighter, and she looks at the one reading. She's like, it's not good to read in the dark, sweetie. And she reaches over and grabs like a metal pole and casts lightning bolt on the one that she can see. 5 times willpower points per level of success. So that's 80 points of damage.
Okay, I am going to find the side effects table, roll a d10, and add the spell's power level.
My total was 11.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, don't say oof.
I don't like the oof.
Okay, what is the power level?
The power level of the spell is a 6, and I rolled a 5, so it was a total of 11.
How many life points do you have?
Not many. I have a total of 22.
Okay.
Don't kill me. Please.
Harry. Better be nice to the sweet
So-
witch.
First, I'm going to tell you. Rolling an 11 on the side effects table. The spell works, but the caster is damaged by its energies. The
Okay.
magician takes 5 life points of damage per power level of the spell.
Okay. It would leave me with 2, but I'd be alive. Ish.
So, I'm going to present you with a choice.
Yeah.
You can half that damage to yourself by also halving that damage to the vampire you're inflicting it on. Or you can do the full and take the full.
Well, one of my traits is honorable, and I think we're gonna go with do the full and take the full.
It's almost like the room itself gets darker for a moment as the lightning is like absorbing the light, pushing up, arcing through the ceiling, and then one just cracks down in the middle of this warehouse. Slams into the sarcophagus too, like you just see sparks flying off, and you see vampires turning to dust in the center. The book falls, clatters, pages kind of burnt a little bit on the edges. The vampires that are still in here are determined to keep this going. There's probably 4 more, and you see, even though 3 of them just turned to dust simultaneously from this lightning, the 4 of them are flocking towards this book again and picking it up, and then you actually hear one of them basically like saying through gritted teeth, like, we're so close, we're almost done, we're almost there. And, is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
I think she's going to cling to the pole that she grabbed onto because she is very close to fainting. But she's trying so hard to look cool in front of the other cool ladies, and she is just like reeling, but she is holding fast, but she's not up for good. Like, she's just trying to stay looking kind of cool.
And at this point, you hear the pages of the book flipping, slams down, and you hear them reciting more of this page, more of this ritual, whatever is happening here, they're continuing. And the one apocalypse demon that is left looks a little worse for wear. kind of glances over his shoulder at the ritual that's happening behind, looks up directly at the four of you, and I don't like making these decisions, so I'm gonna roll a d4 to see which one of you he is going to attack. He immediately, like, eyeing everybody, looks directly at the Slayer, who's still holding onto this bat, is gonna, like, walk over, grab onto your, like, hand that's holding the bat, to use that hand to pull you closer and just knee you in the stomach.
Rude.
It's gonna do 14 points of damage to you. And then he's gonna actually try to, I'm gonna take the penalty as well. He is going to try to, after slamming his knee into your abdomen, rip the bat and just hit you with it over the head as well. Since he is trying to take an item from you, I will let you resist this if you'd like. Some sort of strength, probably, to hold on.
I got a 16 if I add my strength. I got a 10 plus the 6.
I also got a 16.
Okay.
So I just think there's this moment where he can't take it from you. You're matching each other's strengths. You're just like pulling. There's this odd game of tug of war. And then we'll say you're locked in that. You're locked in that sort of tug of war while the ritual is being completed behind you.
And Logan has the biggest grin on their face right now. Just like, fucking try me, bitch. Like...
So you hear the last words of the ritual being completed in the center of the warehouse. You hear the sarcophagus sliding open. The stone on stone. Penelope, I would like for you to roll intelligence and occult.
I rolled an 11.
There's a moment where it clicks in your head what ritual had to have been done here. And it's only when you see hands beginning to come up out of this sarcophagus and a body pulling itself up and out that it's really sinking in what ritual had to be done here. You see long, bony arms. You see wings that stick up and come down, and you hear this terrible shriek as this ancient vampire is pulling itself up out of this sarcophagus. You see long claws, every single tooth is fanged on this creature. There's no sense of a human look to them whatsoever. And as they begin like stretching these wings out, you know immediately you have to get out of here. There is no winning, not right now, not like this. That is the enemy's turn. Morgana, what would you like to do? I would say for Penelope, it was more of what spell was used. You're not entirely sure what the creature is capable of. You just know it was a very powerful ritual. For Morgana, it's more like you have heard of these creatures, but you did not think it was possible for them to be... What word am I looking for? Not like reincarnated, but
reanimated,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't think it was something that was possible, and you're not equipped to handle this without proper knowledge.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to grab Naomi and kind of try to throw them towards the door, and say, "We gotta go, kid. Let's get out of here."
You're pointing me in the wrong direction, boss. We gotta go. It was nice meeting you.
And I'll start for the door. But I'll keep myself between everything and Naomi.
Perfect. I think as this ancient vampire is crawling out, you see it immediately reaches over, grabs onto one of the vampires that helped summon it, and just immediately bite down to begin feeding on something. You see the other ones around. They're looking at you, but all they do is pull up sleeves and offer their arm. And they're just waiting to be feasted upon.
The Slayer actually was stuck in combat with a demon. Can I try to lob its head off as we get the fuck out?
Hell yeah.
as I am running, like I throw Naomi in front of me, I tell the other two to run, and just as I'm going, I reach up, grab my Bowie knife, my big ass knife, and I just like slit and run.
It's just this sudden, like, there's kind of this force, like this pull from the bat, and you have to hold on to it as this last apocalypse demon just falls over and then melts down into the floor.
Since the vampires are kind of offering themselves up to be fed, have they completely disregarded my book?
It is still over at their feet. It is very, very close to the ancient vampire as well. But yes, they don't seem to be paying attention to it.
Damn it. Can I use some drama points to change my story a bit? Is it possible?
What are we wanting to do?
So could my book be resting on like a floorboard that we could like stomp on one side and have it slide down to me so we can go?
I will say yes. I will say you're too weak right now to do so, but the Slayer is literally right there, like grabbing onto your hand to begin dragging you away. So I will say with I'll say that's pretty bad. I'll say with 10 life points. Die for this. 10 drama points. You'd be able to do that for sure.
So I'm gonna like clasp her arm and I'd be like, hey, do me a solid. Just stomp right here.
And like Logan does it, just like very confused.
Yeah, there's this moment and then this, like, it almost looks like a lazy stomp, but it's with so much force still that, yeah, that floorboard, like, pops up just barely and the book slides right over to where you're able to scoop it up and then...
like, much appreciated. Let's go.
Yeah, I will say, as the four of you are running, Morgana is, like, leading the charge to the car. You're, like, halfway to the car. Morgana's probably at the car, turning around, and you see the rest of the group halfway there. You see the big warehouse door just burst open, and you see this ancient vampire pushing through, standing at full height. It's like 8 feet tall, almost. It's hunching, and it's 8 feet tall. And as it's coming over, you see the giant wings kind of stretched out. The tip of the wings are like points, so they're kind of like stabbing into the ground as well to act as a sort of like extra leg. And as it comes out, looking in your direction, it kind of sniffs and shrieks into the air. And this is when you hear the sound of a car, like, skidding into this parking lot. Morgana's already at her car, and you see, as this car skids to a halt, Logan, you see Claire sitting in the driver's seat and just rolls down the window and says, "Get the fuck in the car right now!"
Just, like, toss my bat in and, like...
Penelope, you are rushing to get into the car that just pulled in. As you see Logan, I assume, getting into that car as well. You are rushing over, you rip open the door, and then out of nowhere, this other vampire that you swear was offering its arm to this creature slams into you. You've already opened the door, so it slams into you and basically, like, traps you between it and the door, and it's sitting there, like, trying to rip at you. It seems more aggressive than it was before, almost like it was somehow, like, empowered by this ancient creature. It seems more feral, almost like all intelligence has gone and it's just focused on ripping you to shreds. It gets a couple slashes in, nothing to really do any damage, but I mean, definitely draw blood. Slashing at you, and then you hear the sound of a gun cock, bang, as Claire fires from the driver's seat and just blasts this vampire off of you. You know it's not enough to actually do anything. It's a gun and it's a vampire, but it was enough to blast it off of you long enough for you to, like, basically fall into the car, and Claire just starts driving before the door is even shut, just starts driving out onto the street. Morgana, you have made sure that Naomi has made it over to the car. You've watched them get into the car, and as you are about to get in, your head is grabbed from behind and slammed into the top of the car, and you're grabbed and kind of flung and thrown back onto the ground. You see 2 of these vampires standing over you, snarling, and as one reaches forward, you hear the sound of, like, the hardest body-on-body collision you've ever heard before, as another being just flies out of nowhere, slams into one of these vampires. They roll for a moment, stand up, and you see whoever this new person is just completely tear the head off of one of these vampires and turns to dust, turns around, and you see fangs bared at this other vampire. And there's this moment where they are like kind of circling for a moment, and you see this person backing up, kind of like leading this person away, this other vampire away, to give you a moment to kind of stand up and get to the car if you would like.
I have like a random assortment of knives and shit underneath my jacket, so I'm gonna throw one as I run back towards the car and mutter to myself, they better not have fucking dented her. But I'm gonna throw a knife at him. That's
forget about my head. They better not have dented the car.
Yeah. I love my car.
I'll say it slams into the head, and there's a moment where like it's not quite dead, but as it turns to look at you, the other vampire that bared its fangs at this grabs onto it and twists it and pulls it around, and then you see them turn to dust. And you see, as Claire's car is just pulling away quickly, you see the ancient vampire just sprinting in your direction, wings coming out like just this crazed run in your direction. And you see this new vampire that has just ripped these other two to pieces look at you and look at your car for permission.
I pull, it's only a 2-door, so I pull the seat forward and just let go.
Sprints, dives in, slams into the back part there, and you immediately get in and begin pulling away. But you see, we have like this Jurassic Park moment where you're looking in the side mirror and this ancient vampire is just way too close to the car. You hear a scrape on the back of the car, claws on metal. As you are peeling out, let me ask, are you following Claire's car or are you going in a different direction?
No, I'll follow.
Yeah, heading off in that direction. After the scrape, the ancient vampire like stops, shrieks once again, and then you see it looks around and then takes to the sky and begins flying off into the darkness. Our scene cuts to a car like pulling up into a driveway, quickly followed by Morgana's car that is parking kind of on the curb there. The four of you, plus Claire, plus this new person, all begin to get out of the car. Logan, immediately, as you are seeing this third person get out of Morgana's car, you immediately, like, human face, but they're a vampire. And you know that right off the bat. What would all of you like to do?
Did I see the teeth? Because I made it to the car first, so I imagine I would like jam myself in the back seat and like.
That's a good question. I'm gonna just make a 50-50. I'm gonna say no. You didn't see the teeth. You saw like attacking happen and you saw like ripping motions and everything, but I don't think you saw the teeth.
Okay. So I guess like I get out of the car and like kind of look around and I'm like, whoa, wow. That was that I don't even know what that was. That was fucking awesome. You guys are fucking like superheroes. I mean, you're a superhero too, Morgana. You're really awesome. I just say, did you? And I kind of like look at their face, like, and if you're looking unimpressed, then I'm like,
yeah, 100% not listening.
Okay.
You're beelining towards the back of the car to look at the scratch. Logan, you immediately feel this tension between you and Claire, and she just stomps off towards the front door and is like, "Come on, we gotta get inside. Come on!" And she's like unlocking her front door. Morgana, you look at these three large scratches down the whole, like, I mean, one light is just completely busted out, and the scratch goes all the way down to the bumper.
I don't think that's gonna buff out.
Does Penelope say that? Does Penelope just... I pull out my lighter and I just light up and I'm just staring.
Claire unlocks the door, opens it up, and kind of just stands there waiting for the rest of you to go in. You go in and you see, I mean, it looks... let me ask, Logan, have you ever been here before?
I imagine I would have.
So there's
Probably
this...
not invited, but
You've just shown up. Yeah, so there is a very hard contrast to your dorm and Claire's house. But it's not the sense of like, oh, everything has to be clean. It's the sense of Claire doesn't look like she owns a lot of stuff. There's nothing hanging on the walls. There's like a couch. She clearly doesn't live here with anyone. It's very clean, but seems to be for lack of items to make it messy. But as you file into the house, she walks in and you see the third person from Morgana's car kind of walks over and just stands in the doorway.
Fuck. You, and I point at the watcher. Do you mind? It's your house. I feel weird doing it for you.
I don't think
Claire.
you technically can do it for her.
Are we
Can
sure?
you?
I mean, are we sure we want him in here?
I mean, he saved my ass back at the warehouse.
That's a vampire?
I swear I trained her better than this. I swear to God, I trained her better than this. Clean your fucking glasses, kid. Of course he's a thing. Did you see what he did?
Well, I mean, I saw him, doing some moves and stuff. I just thought maybe he's also like I'm an assistant. Maybe he's an assistant to the Slayer. I don't know. Maybe the Slayer's got two assistants.
You hear him chuckle a little bit at that.
Who am I to say?
Claire looks over and says, "Please come in." And he nods and takes a step in, closes the door, kind of walks over directly to Naomi and holds out a hand. "My name is Elijah James."
Hi. And Naomi slides the stake that they had originally grabbed back into their pocket inside their jacket and offers their other hand. It's nice to meet you. I apologize for my less than warm welcome.
Understandable, given the circumstances of the evening, I think. And then he just kind of glances around at everyone.
Morgana, Davenir, pleasure, and thanks for the assist.
I heard something about a Slayer, and he kind of looks over to Logan.
Yeah, why not? Why doesn't just everybody know? That's great. Hi. Who are you?
Elijah James.
Elijah James, right. I'm probably not going to remember that, but that's fine, right? That'll be fine. Just being honest. Also, I'm watching you.
Noted.
Okay.
What were you all... And then he's interrupted immediately by Claire, and Claire says, "I thought I told you not to go inside."
Me?
Yes!
I mean, technically, you said, please don't go inside head first, which I did not. I went bat first. And secondly, I heard things in there and people that could have been in trouble. And thirdly, this one over here needed a book. And that was inside. And now... Yeah.
Penelope, I did in fact get the book. So, just saying.
We got the book.
For
Great.
what it's worth, Watcher. Claire, you said, we went in first. Your Slayer offered a really good assist. Hey, your kitchen over here, I could use some peas or something.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want. And she just goes and slumps over onto the couch and puts her head in her hands for a moment. This night just got a lot more complicated than I was planning.
It's okay. Logan told us that we need to make sure that we keep the secret, for everybody. So
is that what Logan told you? And kind of like glances over at Logan.
we respect secrets. You see, we're also secret servicers of anti-occult things. So we won't tell anyone, what you are. You just can't tell people what we are, even though, you can see Morgana, it's kind of obvious what she does, but maybe don't say anything about me.
That's
I'm
Naomi.
sorry. I'd love to not tell anybody what you are, but I don't actually know what you guys are. Like, I get the demon thing, but what's a slayer?
Oh, me.
You.
Right. Also, Claire, don't be mad. She's in my history class, so. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Anyway, so a slayer is so scrunchy face guy, right?
Yeah, the vampires. Mhm.
Yeah. I kill them. The end.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not that big of a deal. No problem.
She's downplaying it. Okay, so in one in every generation is born, and there's a big book. It's like a tome, and then it tells you all the stuff you can do. And there's kicks, and there's healing powers, and superhuman stuff. And it's if you take me like me, but then you multiply me times 4,000, that's a slayer. Don't let her downplay what she, because it's pretty cool when you learn more about it. I'm saying too much. I'm sorry.
I'd like to flop down on the couch next to Claire and just lean over and said, and she's a witch.
I mean, yeah, kind
You're a witch?
Well, yeah.
Don't take any offense to this, but you don't look so good. Are you okay?
No, actually, no, I'm
Oh.
not. I would like to sit. Is it okay?
See, if you were a slayer, you'd be fine right now because all your your wounds would just heal up like Wolverine. You know what I mean? You'd already have all your shit taken care of if you were a slayer. But unfortunately, you're not.
No, and I am very tired, so I'm gonna sit. No, but that's really cool about the whole Slayer thing. Do Slayers not sleep? Is that why you're always so sleepy? Can you not sleep? Is that a quirk of
Elijah
yours?
is enjoying this, just crossing his arms and just listening to all of this very intently.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because vampires only come out really in the nighttime, and so that's the time that you have to kill them. But also, if I don't die in the next 5 minutes, which could happen at any point in time,
Then you got that 8 a.m. class. No, I got you.
life,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a thing,
Okay. Well, at least I'm up to speed now.
So the witch thing has that always been? Have I just been
I
is
mean,
that yeah?
yeah. I mean, I don't practice that much since I moved out of my mom's house. She didn't like the way that I was practicing, and we were doing things. So I went off to college, which she said was wrong. I need to stay home and practice my craft and do all this stuff, and it was a lot of drama. But I'm out here finding my own path and making it work. But it's been a minute since I've done anything quite as powerful as I did there, and
That was
wasn't warmed up.
That was impressive. Did you summon the big ancient wing thing?
Oh no. The spell in that they used in this book is well beyond my ken. And very, very dangerous. I don't even know why it's in the book. It really seems irresponsible that somebody put it in the book to begin with. But no, I just created some lightning to kind of zap some dudes because he had my book. There was a witty quip. I don't know if you heard it because you were kind of.
I totally did. It was good. It was a good one.
I worked on that.
Very proud.
So, yeah. No, they've summoned something very, very old and very powerful with magic that I can't duplicate, nor would I try. Yeah.
I think while this conversation is happening, I just kind of crab walk because I'm squatting, listening to all of this, and I think I kind of crab walk over to the side of the sofa that Morgana is laying on, and I'm like, hey, so I just wanted to check in. I thought you said that those things were not a thing. I thought it was like impossible for them to like come out. Like when we talked, you were telling me like about the risks for my life for this job. You did not mention that.
You mean the ancient ones?
Yeah. Like I know that like you've read a lot of books because like you're smart, and like badasses are also smart sometimes. So you told me that they could not exist in this world, but that really existed. And next time it might be me instead of your car. And like I just think like that I should be like as informed as possible, so that I'm not like just out there like risking my life and potentially getting eaten by an 8-foot vampire.
Morgana kind of sits up a little straighter, maybe puts the pews down. Listen, kid. I done a lot of reading. That's true. But I mean, not even I'm perfect, you know? I mean,
Are you sure?
books ain't really my purview, and I gesture over at Claire. Now, a watcher, they're gonna be able to tell you some shit. And probably him too, when I point at Elijah James. Speaking of, when I look over at Elijah, what the fuck were you doing at the warehouse? I mean, I'm glad that you were, don't get me wrong. But, you heard stories about this thing coming back, or you just, right place, right time?
I heard whispers. I heard the plan has been in motion for weeks. Between the delivery, between finding the book in the university somewhere, and a lot of people were in on this. And only stupid and extremely desperate vampires would wake an ancient, so there's got to be something. There's got to be a reason that they did this. You don't... if I get too close, all of my free will could disappear. He can make me do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I feel like that's an everybody thing, right?
No, it's not.
No?
Did you feel it too?
I mean, I didn't feel anything. And Logan just like is all like, oh shit. Like just kind of stops.
At that point, Claire gets up and walks over to the kitchen as well.
I mean,
No, that's not an everybody thing. I thought it was only fellow vampires and demons, but I don't know, maybe it's slayers too.
Oh, that's
Same
not
magic.
good.
No.
Same magic keeps you alive, keeps her alive, maybe, you can say. Penelope, where'd you find that fucking book? Was that did you bring that from home? Was that the school library?
No, I brought it from home. Was explicitly told not to. And now I'm reconsidering my choices, to be honest with you. But what's done is done. I just don't know how they knew I had the book. Like I don't go around being like, hey, check out my magic book. It's not a thing I do. So
Clearly.
So I don't know how they would have found out about the book.
Does it give off weird vibes or something?
I don't know. Elijah says I don't feel anything with it. I don't know. Maybe it was scouts. Maybe it was. Do you have a roommate?
Yeah, I do. Sarah. She's nice enough.
Sarah, who's nice enough.
We don't hang out or anything, but she keeps to herself. I keep to myself. She gets upset about me leaving my socks on the floor, but overall, I don't get any. I mean, she's never tried to eat me or anything.
But could she see your book?
I mean, yeah,
Do
but
her-
I have lots of books.
Do her toenails keep growing after they've been clipped off?
Elijah kind of chuckles at how blunt the question was, but sees where you're going, but just kind of
I don't know that I ever watched her clip her toenails, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, next time just measure them, because if they're still growing after they've been clipped, she's probably a demon. Fun fact.
Okay, I'll make note. Demons and pedicures don't mix.
Is Naomi making a note as well?
I'm gonna look at Naomi and be like, "Did you know this?" Yeah, no. I mean, I guess it could be, but I just don't see why. Like, I mean, we've been in rooming all semester. Like, I feel like I would have noticed if she was out. I don't know. But somehow they knew about the book, and they knew how to do the spell, which means that they have been planning this for a while. But what could they need him for?
That's what worries me. We know how. We know that the Ancient Ones control us. We know that. That's just knowledge that we have. They've been asleep for centuries. I imagine how hungry you'd be if you were asleep for centuries.
Yeah.
Nobody knows enough about them to know how to kill them. So we're in for a fight, and I would like to help you, but I can't be there. I would like to help you plan if that is something your highness allows, and kind of like looks over, cocks his head over at Logan.
If he's gonna thrall you, it's better than thralling me. So yeah, sure. Like, probably need all the thrallers we can get.
It's not quite the angle I was going for, but I accept.
I whisper to Morgana. She can kill him with one blow. It's kind of sexy.
Elijah definitely heard that. Logan might have too, actually.
Listen, there's a long history of hunters and slayers, and I can wingman you if you want. I mean, I'm not opposed. If you... Hey,
I'm not talking
Slayer.
about me. No. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about me. I'm saying, like, I mean, like, I don't know if the Slayer's not going to notice me. Morgana, no, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Are you sure?
It's
Because,
fine.
I mean, listen, you're a demon hunter. That's pretty fucking cool, too.
I'm an assistant demon hunter.
You helped. You shot the couple guys with the book. That was fucking great.
Yeah. Maybe give it time. Maybe she's a Betty. Let's just give it time. Just give it time. It's fine.
Alright. You want. So what's the fucking plan? I mean, like, these things are ancient. We don't know a whole lot. Are there, like, resources we can pull? Where's your fucking watcher gone?
You know as much as I do. We're all in the same sinking boat here. All I know is people are gonna die tonight. A lot of people. And I don't think we can stop that, but maybe we can stop the people that are gonna die tomorrow night.
Great.
Yeah. Look, you all seem knowledgeable enough. I'm sure together we could come up with some sort of plan. And if I can help from a distance, I will.
Why a distance? Why can't you help like you did today?
I'm afraid of getting too close. If he decides to take me over, then I could just as easily kill one of you.
I mean, yeah, but we're all afraid.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Okay, most of us are afraid. Part of us, at least one,
Yeah.
me, is afraid.
And like you
No.
should be. That is the correct response. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm a little
that, like,
concerned you don't have that response. It's concerning.
That kind of comes with the Slayer thing, you know? I could die any minute. Something could just through that window and I'd be gone. So
That's fair. I guess
Yeah.
you can't live your whole life trembling, but would your friend that drove us here, Claire, know anything or know where to look to find anything about these?
no, we're not friends. But yeah, I can ask.
Yeah, I think she went to the kitchen, I guess. I don't know.
Do you need anything while I'm in there? Because she's been in there for a very long time, which means she's probably upset with me or something.
Tylenol would be great. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want my peas?
No, I think I'm okay without peas. Weirdly.
I'll throw them at Logan then to bring them back into the freezer. They got me warm anyway.
Got it. And I imagine Logan's like the few times that they have been into Claire's house was to break in to grab meds and things and medical things and probably almost dying. So
Yeah. I think it's one of those things too where like Claire has never caught you in this house, but every time you come in for more medicines and bandages, they're like fully stocked.
yeah. So I'm gonna go in the kitchen and just go right to that really skinny, awkward cabinet next to the fridge that nobody ever uses for anything but first aid stuff and spices. And I'm gonna like start shuffling through to grab stuff. What's Claire doing right now?
Claire is aggressively chopping vegetables. She seems to be like stress cooking at the moment.
You have a knife. Okay, I'm gonna hold on. And then like Logan just grabs what they need and then like stands on the other side of the kitchen. So I know you're probably mad.
I'm not mad.
Your knife chopping tells me otherwise. It's very
There's like
I don't
one solid chop and then it stops for a moment and she's just kind of like standing there.
I don't know what the celery did to you, but can you put it down for a second?
You see her let go of the knife and like turn around to face you.
Hi. So I know you're mad. I'll make it up to you, but I promise I didn't summon any ancient demon crazy old vampire thing. But there is one. And I need your help. And then you can throw a shoe at me or something after, if that will make you feel better. I won't even try to deflect it.
What would make me feel better, Logan, is if you were even just a little bit careful. Just a little. You don't even have to be a lot careful. You went into a warehouse tonight where an ancient vampire rose from the dead. What if you were the only one there?
But I wasn't, which is the only reason I went into the warehouse, because there was like demon hunters there.
Don't lie to me. You know you would have gone in even if you were alone.
Okay, fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. Yes, I would have. You're right.
I mean, why else do you think I was already on the way?
Okay, but then, kid, is it really my fault if you knew and sent me there? I mean, personal responsibility goes way past, me in this scenario. I'm just saying. I've heard of watchers being fired for way less in some cases.
You're threatening to get me fired.
No, not at all, because who knows what I'll get instead. But my point is that now we know there's an ancient demon. We know there's a book or vampire, whatever it is. We know there's a magic book thing. And I go to school with a witch. So that's kind of cool, right? Right? Like, these are all good things that happened.
She turns around and continues her chopping.
Okay. Not yelling. That's good. I'm gonna go. Do you have any books on ancient vampire things or something? I'm not really sure. I'm not the brains, obviously, of this. So maybe.
You see her just like bring the knife up and like point with the knife blade over her shoulder, and you look over and there are 2 books already on like the little dining nook table.
On it. Got it. Is there anything in here? And like Logan just like puts down the Tylenol and the like forgetting that they're holding the peas, just throws it on the table, picks up a book and starts flipping through and is like, is there anything in here about like, I don't know, like luring from said ancient vampire? Maybe? See, here's the thing. I kind of felt like I don't know how else to say this, so I guess I'm just gonna say it. I kind of felt like I wanted it to dominate me a little bit. Not to weird you out. Don't worry, it's not one of those conversations. But like, I don't know if you've ever been there. You know what? I don't even think you have sex.
She immediately sets down the knife immediately, beelines over to you, and immediately grabs your face to start looking at your pupils. Like is immediately inspecting you after you have said any of these things, and it kind of like, I don't know if it makes you stop talking or if you just continue talking through it, but she is fully like examining your well-being now.
Oh, Logan will stop talking because she's afraid to get hit. And we'll slowly close the book and put it down.
And she's just asking like question after question, like, do you feel it right now? What did it feel like? Like things like that. And they're all very vague answers because it was just a feeling. But eventually she seems satisfied that you're not like a sleeper agent of some sort at this point. And she kind of backs away and, sorry, that was a lot of touching. And she turns around and heads back over to her knife.
Yeah, I didn't mean I wanted it from you. I was saying that the ancient anyway. That's bad, right? I feel like that's bad.
It's definitely something that we should keep in mind with our planning.
Okay. I'm gonna Tylenol. And like Logan like remembers that everybody is in pain and picks up the Tylenol. I was like, do you have anything? Like, do you have a water? Can I have one of those water bottles over there? For the witch lady.
She like retires the knife, like realizes she's put the knife down way too many times, walks over, grabs water. She opens up another cabinet. She actually like she slides something away and opens up a cabinet that you didn't even know existed that has a stockpile of first aid supplies. And kind of pulls some of it out, closes it, blocks it back, and holds it out for you to take.
Thanks.
The witch can have my bed if she wants. She needs to rest.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't go back to the dorm.
Your roommate might be a demon. We haven't measured its toenails, so yeah, but we'll get there. Anyway, thanks. And like just like walks back out to the living room and goes over to Penelope and hands them stuff very awkwardly. Like Logan does not take care of people. It is very obvious that they don't know what they're doing in the nurturing part of things, and it just like hands them things and is like, Claire said that your dorm, probably bad idea. So if you want to crash here, you can totally have the bed, and I will make sure nobody bothers you and stuff. So,
yeah, actually, I'm gonna like take a handful of whatever amalgamation of pills and toss them back and just throw it on some water. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go rest, but if y'all need me, come get me. I'm gonna scoop up my book. I'm like, I want to help. I need to rest for a few minutes and just come get me. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I'm gonna like make my way down the hall to go lay down, try to sleep it off.
I feel like we overheard that entire conversation in the
whole
kitchen
thing. The whole thing. Yeah.
And at some point, I looked over at Naomi, and I'm not sure quite what this face is that she gives you, but like, this is a very different vibe of relationship than what we've got. And I'm just like, you okay, kid? That was a lot. You were scared? It was a lot. We could have died. It was a thing. Listen, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I can't believe the Slayer threatened to call this fucking Watchers Council.
Slayers, Watchers, they have very different things that they're trying to do. One's trying to do some badass shit like we do. The other one's trying to keep them alive. Imagine if we had someone watching our back. They'd be fucking worried all the time, right? Like, can you imagine me with a watcher? We'd probably punch each other out. Let's be honest.
But,
So,
I mean, who's gonna do all the work?
what do you mean?
If we had a watcher, like, who would do all the work? Like, we'd have to do all the work, but still listen to this person yelling at us all the time?
Well, no, the watcher's real good for other stuff. They're smart. You know, they help you find all the shit in the books and whatever. That's why maybe I don't know as much as I probably should about these ancient things. I know that they hold a lot of power over creatures like, and I nod over at Elijah. Sorry, not creatures, people. My apologies. But, you know, not a whole lot over that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe it's kind of lucky, like, we met them, you know? Because, like, now there's, like, you know, like a 1 in, like, 5 chance of us dying instead of, like, a 1 in 2.
Oh, weird shit tends to happen near Slayers, so maybe not luck.
They start writing down everything you're saying after that. They're like, they look over at Elijah. So, like, they get kind of, like, close to his face. What's your deal?
My deal?
Yeah, like, what's your situation?
You're gonna need to be more specific.
Like, you're here, but you're a vampire, and, like, I don't know, you're, like, looking at the Slayer kind of misty-eyed a little bit, and,
There's no
you're,
mist.
like, I mean, with vampires, it's usually mist. I have it on pretty good authority. It's mist. Vampires come.
Was there a question in there?
Yeah, like, what, like, I just, you know, like, you don't, like, want to be in the vampire hive mind? Like,
No.
Wouldn't he give you, like, extra powers and stuff, and, like, strength and
Yeah,
things?
probably. He would probably make me very strong. I would be able to take out whole villages just by myself. Does that sound like something you want to do?
I mean, if I could take out a whole village of vampires by myself, yeah, I would do that. Yeah, seems awesome.
Well, I don't really feel like taking out a whole village of people. So,
Yeah, okay, sure, but, like, shouldn't you like want to eat me or whatever?
Elijah, I'm sorry. Like, they're new.
I'm just trying to see what
They're
he's
like-
about.
We haven't gotten quite to the nuance yet. You understand? They're learning.
I'm just trying to learn more, you know. Like, I thought, like, all of you guys were like mindless dudes. Like, I killed, like, 2 of your homies, like, back at the warehouse, and maybe they were also nice. I don't know. I mean, they had the book, so I think, like, maybe they probably, like, weren't nice because they were trying to resurrect an ancient evil. But, like, for you, like, I'm seeing you, and you, like, striding here, and you're, like, fucking Magnum PI, man. Like, you're so fucking cool. So, like, I just, like, you know, I'm just curious, like, why are you here right now?
he looks a little overwhelmed. Like, there's been a lot of conversation that he probably has not heard in a while. And okay, I am here because I heard rumors of this stupid plan to resurrect this ancient being. I was hoping to stop it before it happened. I didn't get there quick enough. You did, but there were too many of them. And to answer your previous question, yeah, I can hear your heartbeats. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. And yeah, maybe the Slayers is a little stronger. But I don't plan on hurting any of you. I plan on stopping this if we can, or dying trying.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Any other questions?
Like, could you, like, not listen to my heartbeat or whatever? Because that's, like, kind of creepy.
You know, like when a clock is ticking in a room and you focus on it and that's all that you hear, but eventually it's drowned out by the sounds of everything else. That's like heartbeats.
Sure.
So what he's saying is, don't stop talking. Keep asking him questions. He won't be able to hear you. And
Oh, okay, so like, what year were you born? First of all, hold on.
is there a bar in this room? Do they have like? Does she have like a anything in this room?
Not in here. No.
Shame.
What year are you born? Where are you from? What made you come here? Who is your sire? Do you have a sexy vampire girlfriend or boyfriend? I'm inclusive. I just would like to know more about your storied past, to be more familiar with you and your kind.
No, and no.
Why'd you ask me if I had any questions?
Look, there are base questions and then there are intrusive questions. The questions we should be asking: what are we going to do about this ancient?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to defer to my manager on this one. And I look over at Morgana and like I try to whisper even quieter than before, but do not manage it at all. And I'm just like, he seems a little bit rude for somebody who's had hundreds of years of politeness practice. I'm just saying. Just trying to get to know people and do some research so that I can like be the best assistant to the demon hunter that I can be. And he seems kind of shitty about it. So
I'm going to take a watch outside. And he turns over and leaves.
So yeah, he was kind of shitty, right?
I don't know how it turned into me teaching you how to be tactful. That's not really how I roll. But like, you got into the details of the romance and the whatnot, and you're like, fucking buy him dinner first, you know? If you want to really get into the nitty gritty of the... Listen, we gotta stick to the thing at hand, and... He's one of the good ones, for now. We keep an eye on him, but like, he's one of the good ones. He can probably still get me. But he's one of the good ones.
I wasn't trying to be offensive. It's just like, it's, I've never met a vampire before other than the one that was trying to gnaw on me in that alley. Like, I don't know. I just thought I'd have answers to questions.
They're still people.
Get some research.
You know? The shitty ones, yeah, we gotta fucking kill them, because they're the shitty ones killing other people just for the fuck of it. But sometimes, once in a while, you get a good one. Who can say why? I'm sure the Watcher can say why, actually.
So I gotta be his friend before I can study him then? Before I can, like, ask a bunch of questions? Because, like,
you don't study a person. You know, you get to know a person, you know? How did I become your social studies You gotta get to know a person organically, you know? Same way you might want to get to know the Slayer, huh?
When you say that to them, Naomi, like, blushes for a second when you're like, you don't study a person. And then, like, she starts crossing out lots and lots of notes in her book.
How many of those are about me? I was trying to peek.
I'm not supposed to study people, so, you know, I'm gonna put this down. And I'm just gonna be quiet. And I'm gonna watch. That's what I'm doing. I'm not studying though, I'm just watching. That's different.
When Morgana says Slayer, Logan like has not been listening because Logan's just been like spaced out, disassociative, thinking about how are we gonna kill an ancient vampire? We've never killed an ancient vampire before. Who we is, I have no idea, but that's how Logan thinks. And then here's Slayer from over here, and it's just like, what? Oh, they're just okay. And then gets up and starts like casually coming over to Morgana and Naomi and leans on like, I don't know, counter or something in the bar, and it's like, so you've been doing the demon hunting thing long?
Yeah. A while. It's
Nice.
life, you know, it's on the road a lot. but it's what I do best. And hey, who am I to throw away some skills, huh?
I mean,
Naomi, been a couple minutes, not long, but they're doing great, right, Naomi? You're doing great.
At this point, Claire comes in with like a tray of tea that she has made. She kind of has like sugar and everything on the tray, but Logan's is made just like Logan likes it. And there's another separate cup that looks like it's full of just something green and disgusting. And she's looking around and she's like, "Where did the witch go?"
oh, bed.
Great. And she starts walking the cup down the hallway.
Nice.
Eventually, Penelope, you're like just settling down and you hear just a knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. What?
The door opens up. "I know you probably need some rest, but you should drink this. My advice is to just chug it as fast as you can because it's going to be very, very terrible to taste, but it's going to help you feel a little bit better and get a good night's sleep."
Okay, yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You have to chug it. As soon as it hits your tongue, you can't let it come back.
Ma'am, I'm a grad student. I can handle that. That's fine. And she takes it and, like a champ, throws it back and hands it back and comes back with it. You know, I've had worse. But thank you. And lays back down.
She like there's a moment of fear as she looks at the window as Elijah is just passing by on patrol, and there was a moment of like, "Oh god. Good night," and turns around and leaves and closes the door.
I make my tea with a little bit of whiskey from a flask that I have in my coat. It's been a long fucking night. Do you two? You want some?
I don't. I'm not the best at handling my liquor. As you recall, that's how we met. So, I will abstain.
Slayer? No, you don't process it the same. I don't know. You want it. Still tastes good.
Can a Slayer even get drunk?
Well, that's a question.
It takes a lot.
So, ancient vampires. You got books?
Books. There's books in the kitchen. Let me grab them. And like Logan like runs out to go grab the books. And brings them back and just like puts them on the table counter. Where are we? Bar? Thing?
Yeah,
I
it sounds
assume
like we're at a
like
little bar of some sort.
Yeah. Tiny bar. Giles
Yeah.
has one. Anyway.
I'm honestly
Yeah.
picturing Giles' apartment in
Yeah.
the latter half of the show. I'll be
Kind
honest.
of sets the books down, and you would be able to kind of flip through them. These books here, though, don't really say anything that Morgana didn't already know. How powerful they are, how much control they have over other supernatural beings, not even just vampires. They do talk about how they were extinguished. It was more of like banished. They seem to all have been banished somehow, but there's no details on how it happened. Not in these books, at least.
Does the Watchers Council have extra libraries somewhere that we could pull from?
Yeah, I'll ask in the morning. Kind of looks over at the clock, and it's like midnight at this point by the time everyone's all settled down in here. Yeah, I'll send some requests out. And she just looks really just distracted and concerned at the moment.
You want we should stay here and make sure you're safe, or do you want us to fuck off for the night? Either way,
I don't think it's safe to go back to the dorm. And she kind of looks over at Logan. As for the two of you, I don't know where you were staying. I don't know if you think it's secure, but you're welcome to sleep here if you'd like.
we usually just grab motel or whatever's cheap nearby.
Well, this place is pretty cheap, if you want.
Right.
There's the pull-out couch.
Even better. You already have the witch in your bed. I'm happy to kip on the floor. It ain't no problem to me. That worse.
I'm okay. I probably won't sleep.
Is anyone gonna be upset if I just I don't know, also go on patrol for a little bit? Is that bad? Should I feel like perimeter maybe? Something? I don't know.
Got the vampire outside. And based on the fact that you were feeling some weird shit with the master vampire, you don't wanna fuck around with that. Especially alone.
Your call, Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we're both kind of thrally, potentially. We have the potential to be enraptured, as they say. Who they is, I'm not sure. But maybe Morgana going out with Elijah, since we can both get potentially a little loopy. I think that might be a good idea.
We need you at your peak. So I'll get up and start heading outside.
We fade into Claire's bedroom, where Penelope is sound asleep. And you begin having this dream. It starts very normally. You're in class. You're having a dream about class. You're having a dream. You're in the wrong class, and you're kind of looking around, and there's this panic and this embarrassment, and you're gathering up your books to go out and try to find the right class, and you're running down the hallways, and you can't find your locker. Where's your locker? Why can't you remember your locker number? And you're kind of you're beginning to go full sprint down the hallways, and you're realizing you're in high school, and you're looking around, and as this confusion and this panic is settling in, you see the shape down the hallway. You see the ancient vampire, the wings stretched out much like a bat. It stands there. It looks at you. It's just the silhouette, but you can see blood pooling at its feet. And that's when you start to notice all of the bodies that are surrounding it, surrounding the lockers. You're following the bodies all the way up to your feet, realizing that you're standing on them. You're standing on piles of corpses, drained of their blood. And as you're seeing this, you hear your own heartbeat in your ears, just pounding. You see red every time that your heart beats. And you hear words. It doesn't seem to be a language that you can recognize, but for some reason you know what is being said. It's some sort of ritual, some sort of banishment. And as you sit up straight in your bed, straight in Claire's bed, the next morning, the only sound that comes out of your mouth is mirrors.
A townhouse where for a while they didn't know what they were doing with their life, so they just watched bad TV and drank whiskey for a while after getting a lot of concussions during high school.
I feel like that's so valid.
Watching a lot of Passions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oliver, get your face out of the lamp. It doesn't say anything about damage. I'm about to make my own rule.
In 3, 2. I'm kidding. Sorry.
You're not wrong.